Hello, my friends on YouTube. Today is September 18th, 2022. It's Sunday, and I'm happy I'm back. Last week I couldn't load up my video on time because I had a strike. There are many people don't want what I'm talking about to come out. So we appreciate you share, write a comment, and the more we do that, the more they cannot stop us. Okay. Um, I'll try very much to avoid anything to give a chance to YouTube to close the channel. But if you have any idea or any suggestions, I send the video to the people whom I knew that they can watch it, and I linked it to the previous video in the description box, but not many people noticed. Anyway, we're back. Today's video is the original video that I wanted to speak about last week, but because of that child that was ripped out of his parents' home because of stupid laws, I had to speak about that first. But today's video is also very important, and the reason is I'm going to give you the points I'm going to speak about. I'm going to speak about a Saudi clerk who was in charge of an organization that it ceased to exist. It used to be called to keep high modesty or high morality, high standard of morality or modesty in the area, in the region. That's number one. Number two, Islamic countries in the Middle East, especially United Arab Emirates, were calling Netflix. I guess a movie had like sexual scene or something to that effect. I'm not really sure which one. I didn't care. To erase or to cut this part from the movie, not to leave it there, because that violates the Muslim modesty. And then later on, like a day or two later, they changed that from Muslim modesty. They omitted the word Muslim and they kept only it violates modesty. And the reason here, I think many people complained, what do you mean Muslim modesty? Do you think like Buddhist, Hindus, and the Christian, Jewish, they don't have modesty? In each country and in each religion, there are certain people who don't want to be modest, and that's their business. That's their business. They like these movies, that's their business. Don't watch it. Okay, not to get carried away. Yeah, so United Arab of Emirates are calling the government to make a law for people to be modest. Very interesting. The next is Iranian women are taking their headscarf off in unity, or because there was a young lady, Iranian young lady, who was killed in the police station because she was tortured because her headscarf slipped a little bit and her hair showed. So Iranian women are taking the whole scarf off. And then in India, there's a situation. Muslim women in India are suffering because of an Islamic law. We're going to speak about all these things quickly. Okay, the Muslim clerk from Saudi Arabia, that's number one guy. I wanted to speak about him, and I'm glad that I didn't, because few other subjects they came and they can all be incorporated. Okay, his name is Ahmad Al-Ghamidi. uh, is causing like a split in Saudi Arabia. And I know the reason. The reason is now the word coming from the Crown Prince of Saudi Arabia that all the stuff that we got used to has to be turned upside down, and get rid of all that stuff, and let's modernize our country and let's go on with our lives. Let's get rid of that stuff that kept us backward. So that guy, or just about 4 or 5 years ago maximum, he was the head of the Institute of Modesty in Saudi Arabia, and these were people going around the country, especially at the time of prayer. If they see a man or a woman walking, or husband and wife walking on the street, and the time of prayer came, they will actually whip them that they are not in the mosque and chase them to go to the mosque to pray. If you have a business and your business is open, they will come and force you to close your business and go to pray, whether you want to pray or not. They were also, if they see a woman, if her head scarf is some of her hair is showing, they will hit her with a whip, because she's not modest enough, and so on and so forth. That man was the head of that institute, and now he's coming out on TV, publicly on TV, and I'm going to link his video. If you don't speak Arabic, find somebody, if he can translate, he or she translates to you what he's saying. He is saying that woman's thigh is not, if it shows, we cannot say she's not modest. That's okay, actually, because I'm sorry, but when we go to the beach, you are wearing your swimming suit, and our thighs, all men and women, shows. And I'm not going, when I go to the beach, I'm not going to look at thighs. I'm going to enjoy the day. Okay? But it goes further. To him now, as long as, and he really says this word, if you have kids in the room while watching that, please tell them to leave. He's practically saying that the only thing that you have, man and woman, that you have to worry about is practically the genitalia and the rear end. These are the only two parts that you have to cover. Practically is like 99% of the body now can be exposed. 99.9% exposed. The rest, that's no problem. Now, according to that very man, that if more than the hand will show of a woman, he will give the order, she can be jailed. Now everything can show except the genitalia and the rear end. And the whole of Saudi Arabia, people, they really went after him, because these people, they lost their credibility. They are really nobody now, because they are working for the authority. And this is, people started to see that, people in Saudi Arabia, and they are calling them that you are actually nothing but I don't want to say the word, but they are calling them for that. I don't know how can a person like this face his wife, his children, his neighbors, his friends, if he has any, the public, when he goes in public to shop, or how can you face the people? One day you are saying that, and the other you are saying the opposite. Why? Because you are getting some money. Looting. From beginning, it was money. Invade, invade Tabuk. You get the blonde women and their money. It's the same. It's carrying on. And at the same time, that get used to that in this ideology that it came to us 1400 years ago. At the same time, United Arab of Emirates, which broke away from that nonsense a while ago and became a modernized country, and they put that stuff aside. Now, the religious leaders there, they feel they lost the grip, so they are called. There was Netflix showed a Western movie. I don't know from what country, but anyway, probably American movie. There was probably a sexual scene in it. So the people, the religious authority now, because they have a lot of influence from the Muslim Brotherhood who left Egypt and sitting there in this area, they are calling for Netflix when something like that, they should actually omit this part in the movie, because that is against Islamic modesty. And then they remove the word Islamic and put it violates modesty. Because I guess they went under the heat, other religious people and religious leaders and other countries complain, what do you mean when you say Islamic modesty? Modesty is modesty. And practically most of the people don't like immorality or anything that violates modesty. So they change it. It violates modesty. Anyway, so we have the clerk of Saudi Arabia calling that men and women can practically walk naked as long as you cover the genitalia and your rear end. And the rear end doesn't show anyway, so just cover the front part and you're covered. Okay? You cover the genitalia and your behind is covered automatically. Okay. I mean, if you want to do that on your own, that's your business. Okay. So United Arab of Emirates are calling for a law to force modesty on people. I can't get this together. Until now, you still don't know that you cannot force modesty on anyone, because this is something starts in the head, in the mind. And if a person wants to be immoral or unmodest, he or she will do whatever they want. So stop dictating laws. There are laws that it says don't kill. Do people kill? Yes. There are laws that it says don't steal. Do people steal? Yes. Don't commit adultery. Do people commit adultery? Yes. The laws do exist. One more law will not do anything. Okay? Fix your head, and then you will not need the law. That is a disturbing thing from Iran. I read this morning. A funeral of a young lady, 22 years old. I will put the link. As she was walking, and I don't know, even if she uncovered part of her hair, big deal. She was arrested, tortured, and she died in prison, in jail. And in her funeral, thousands of women took their headscarf off to protest against the Iranian government, what they are doing. Actually, you know, it looks like that. They are venting against the government. They are venting their anger against the government. No, they are not. They are venting their anger against an ideology that came, and they know it's a sick ideology, but when they open their mouth to speak, men or women are attacked and killed. What happened to Salman Rushdie? He spoke about the ills in this ideology, and he almost got killed. He almost got killed. The last part is actually in India. Muslim women in India are facing difficulty because India is a country that it's a free country, and you can be Muslim, Hindu, atheist, non-religious, Christian, whatever you want. But in the Islamic tradition and Islamic laws, if a man divorces his wife 3 times, after the 3rd time, she cannot return to him anymore. She becomes like his sister or his mother or his daughter. It's a violation of a Muslim spiritual law. And to get around that, they have something, there's a way to go around it, which is the woman, not the man. Here's the man. Whatever upsets him, he will tell her, you are divorced, go back to your home, to your parents' home. So she leaves. She's divorced. And he doesn't have to do the legal divorce. He can do the legal divorce later. But that is recognized by Islamic authority that it is one strike. You've been divorced once. And let's say 2 weeks later, he cannot marry another woman. He's poor. He calls her back. She goes back. So he has one strike. He divorced her once. He doesn't have to do anything about the legal marriage, but already spiritually he did divorce her once. Now if he gets angry again, or he doesn't like her again, and he tells her you are divorced one more time, then she's divorced twice. She can come back if he calls her. The 3rd time, that's it. You're out. So what happens? He doesn't do the legal divorce, and sometimes he goes on and he remarry another woman, and he's living happily ever after, and he has new children and so on and so forth. But this woman cannot remarry again because she is legally still in front of the Indian law. She's not divorced. They don't know if her husband told her you are divorced 3 times. And by the way, if he says in one setting, you are divorced 3 times, finished. She been divorced 3 times, she cannot return to him. And the way to get around that, the woman pays the price. Here, exactly like the founder of this nonsense, 1400 years ago, as he was sitting with his friends, he sees a woman passing by, covered woman. He gets excited. He goes to the woman who used to be his adopted son's wife. He took her. He asked her to take care of him. Once he's done, he goes back to his friends waiting for him. I don't know what kind of friend you wait when a person doing this cannot control himself and goes, you know that he's inside doing whatever he's doing, and then he comes back to you and women comes in a form of a Satan and she depart in a form of a Satan. Out of control. And this man who divorced his wife 3 times and then he wants her again. What does she has to pay the price, because the way around it, she has to marry another man legally and spiritually, and she has to consummate the marriage, and she can get pregnant. And the man, the second husband here, he is the one who is to decide when I divorce her, if I want to divorce her. And then she has to go back to her first husband and her children to take care of them. So he's out of control. The woman pays the price. I'm sorry, my videos kind of depressing, but that is the situation. We have to say it as it is, and I hope that you, as much as possible, please write comments, whatever you want to say, and if you have a suggestion, because I want to back up so that in case if YouTube closes this channel, at least there will be an outlet. Please suggest, please comment, share, and like. Thank you very much. We hope to hear from you.